4 o'clock, April 27th. I call the meeting of the Committee of the Whole to order. First action would be roll call. Cindy?
Ed Schachner,
Present.
Sean Anderson,
Present.
Bob Long,
Present.
Kathy Leaf,
Present.
Kara Cook,
Present.
Tim Hall, Paul Burning,
Present.
Rick Otino,
Present.
Bob Fiedler,
Present.
Dave Osnes, Scott Counter, Dan Hansen,
I'm right here.
Scotty Ard, Greg Telejohn,
Present.
Dave Peterson,
Present.
Paulette Anderson,
Present.
Judy Achterhoff,
In attendance.
Shelley Tomczyk,
Present.
and Bill Peavy.
Present. Our next action item will be approval of minutes from Friday, March 19th, 2021. Are there any additions or corrections? Seeing no additions or corrections, they will stand approved as printed. Public comment? Is there anybody here from the public that wishes to make a comment for items on or off the agenda? Anybody from the public wishes to make a comment on or off the agenda? And a third time, is there anybody here from the public that wishes to make a comment on items on or off the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on. The one business item is strategic planning working session. And I will turn it over to Mr. Witt.
Thank you, and I will turn it over to our consultant, Yang Yi.
Can everybody hear me? Good. All right. Welcome back. So nice to see everyone again after the kickoff, and more of you. I think some of you were online the last time. So very nice to see everyone back in today. So you guys all met me, Yang Yi Laura, and you met Eric virtually, but my counterpart is here. Eric, do you want to say a few words?
I am standing, yes. We're the short team.
Yeah, Ken asked if I needed a stepping stool. We are the short team. All right, I cannot share my PowerPoint. It says, oh, now I can. So today, we are going to be doing a SWOT analysis. And let me just make sure from beginning. Okay. Can the people online see this?
Yeah, they will.
Okay, they will. Okay, all right, perfect. I think there's Jensen, that's a worker with WIP's partner.
UW extension is on. Those
are the
only
Okay.
two that are online.
Oh, okay, perfect, perfect. All right, so today we are going to take everyone, the supervisors, department heads, as well as we will do this for the citizen and community panel. We'll take them through a SWOT analysis. So right now we are on this step, and I kind of wanted to just show everyone where we're at. Where the young lady is pointing to, we are here in step 2. We're working on this part. So before we get started today, I just wanted to just share some norms with some group norms with all of us. The SWOT analysis and strategic plan, love for everybody to be very attentive, be engaged, and actively participate. This plan is really for you. Oh, thank you. Technology, the beauty of it. Okay. Allow others to finish their thoughts, listen to understand different points of views, have the best intentions of each other, treat each other with dignity and respect, avoid hidden agendas, be genuine with each other about ideas, challenges, and feelings. And we will be having the meeting that will start on time and on time. We will be really tight on our 3 hours. There's a lot to work through. but we'll work through it together and we'll have great discussion and hopefully we'll come out with some really good top 5 for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Is there any group norm that I had in here that maybe you guys want to add to make sure that this is a safe place for all of you to share your thoughts and ideas? That maybe before you couldn't? I want to make sure, again, this is just a very safe place for whoever to share their thoughts and ideas. Okay, hearing none, I will move on to the next. So what is a SWOT analysis? I remember we had different degrees of individuals that participated in a strategic planning. And so I wanted to just make sure we're in alignment and we're just on the same page. So this really basic presentation is just to get us all on the same page. A SWOT analysis is used very commonly in strategic planning because it really is a simple tool. It allows there to be generation of ideas, thoughts, brainstorming, and really get a very concise snapshot of where you are at as a county. And so, again, the SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And there's going to be specific questions within each box. And you have an agenda in front of you. And also, it'll be on the slides if you forget, to help you kind of come up with those strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I happen to use the SWOT a lot, and I really enjoy it because it really gets to really specific analysis and data and information that you can do something with. So it looks like the diagram on here, generally in a 4-way diagram, and you can see different ones. We're going to have little squares or little sheets of papers, and we're going to do different activities to allow you to participate, engage, to work as a team, to really come up with this. But strengths and weaknesses are internal to your company, things that have that you have some control over and can change. Examples include who is on your team, your services, and your location. Opportunities and threats are external things you don't necessarily have control over, things that you can take advantage of and protect against, but you cannot change them. So examples include like legislation that may come down the pipe, prices of raw materials or services, and customer trends. Those are things that you can't control but will impact how you do work. COVID, an example, a very, very prime example is one way where we didn't predict it, but it impacts how we do work. So here's our agenda today. You have an agenda in front of you, but what we're gonna do is split up into groups. So the odd numbers, how many is odd numbers? Is there 9 odd numbers, or there's 10? So should they go with you then, or stay here? Okay. So the odd numbers will stay in here, and if there should be a numbering on your on your name tag is what we hear from Ken, which makes it so much easier for us. So the odd numbers stay here. Even numbers will go with Eric. When you start to be in your group, please pick 2 speakers, 1 for each area. Like, we're going to do strengths and weaknesses first. So we're going to spend 50 minutes doing that activity in total. Hopefully, as facilitators, we'll help guide you guys in the different activities. And then once we complete the strengths and weaknesses, we'll give you guys a kind of we're done and we're breaking back to the group kind of minute. So it's like 5 minutes, quick, short little breaks, but that will allow you to come back, and sometimes they'll be about 5 to 10 minutes. But when you come back, we will discuss what the top 5s are for the groups. And then we're gonna do that about 25 minutes. And then we will break out again into the 2 groups and talk about opportunities and threats. and then we'll reconvene, we'll take a break, reconvene again, and have discussions. Any question about the agenda for tonight? Okay. If hearing none, I don't know, Eric, do you have anything else to add? Okay, well then, let's break up into groups and let's get started. I'm gonna have activities, so whoever's staying, I'll just work with you guys, and then the other individuals, the even numbers, go to the rooms next door.
Okay, so if you're evens, follow me or come over to this room.
And I wasn't, Carrie, are you gonna be participating online?
No, actually, I'm a fly on the wall, just observing and listening into the process.
Okay, perfect then. Otherwise, I thought if we had people that were we didn't know how many people. There is, if you like to participate, there is a code, and you can go to, if I share here, technology. Do you see the other screen or no, Carrie?
I'm not seeing another screen. Oh, you mean, do I have another screen?
Do you see, the strengths, weaknesses?
I'm looking at a screen entitled Strengths, yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. Otherwise, if you were gonna participate, I was gonna say, you can just type in there and,
Oh, okay.
like, share your ideas, like, we have a great team. And then
Got
it'll
it.
just pop up. So,
Okay.
we weren't sure how many people were gonna be online. Are you okay? Just being the fly on the wall?
Yep, I sure am. This is,
Okay, I don't wanna not include you.
no. This is great, thank you.
Okay.
I'm just glad I didn't have to get up and move.
Isn't that nice? Okay. So, do you guys have pens? If not, I will get pens for you.
I have a silver.
Who needs a pen? Nope? Okay. So I'm gonna pass around some sticky pads. And in front of you, in the box where it says strengths, there's some questions in there to help you generate some strengths. And I want you all to generate your top 3 or 5 or however many you have. And then when you are done, to keep some safe distancing, you can go back and put it on the strengths, on the strengths there. So, and same thing for weaknesses. There are some questions and on the screen. If I can pull the screen back up, you can see it bigger too, I hope. Oops. Oh gosh, let's escape out.
They're on our agenda too.
Yeah, they're on your agenda. So if you look at those questions that says strengths, what do we do really well? What is our strongest asset? What unique resources do we have access to? Do we have a sustainable competitive advantage? Do we have any exclusive relationships with other organizations? Can we easily get additional capital if needed? Do we have a strong customer base? What things do our customers say we do really well? What is our greatest achievements? And then looking on the weaknesses, there's questions there. These questions are meant to generate ideas for you to write onto your sticky pad. And the reason for us doing this activity and not being completely interactive right away is we want to make sure that every single voice is included and is inclusive in this. And before we all, kind of like, oh, okay, well, maybe that idea wasn't so great. So whatever you generate would be awesome in terms of strengths and weaknesses. And when you feel you have a good list, or you feel you're pretty good with either one, I want you to stick it on the strengths for the strengths side, and then the weaknesses on the weaknesses side. And if you look at yours and you look up, let's say you're the second person, you look up and you're like, oh, okay, Bob has the same thing. We were thinking the same thing. Feel free to put your sticky note right on top of his if it's the same idea, okay? Does that make sense?
One answer per sticky note?
Yes, oh, yes, one. One. That's why you have a whole bunch. There's a whole bunch of sticky notes, one per each. Thank you for clarifying that. One thought per sticky note. So I hope you can generate between 3 to 5. I don't know, Ken, are you going to participate in today or tomorrow? Okay.
Tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
So are we just concentrating on strengths, or
You can do both right now. You can start to, if you finish strengths and you want to go up and put your strengths and come back and do your weaknesses, that's fine. We're going to cover and have discussion as this smaller group once we're done about each area.
very good?
No. Yeah, if anybody, spelling I'm pretty good at, but my handwriting is horrible. That's why I type everything. I do everything on PowerPoints. I do everything that's electronic. That, I might need some help if if your handwriting isn't too clear. Like mine, I have the worst handwriting.
So you want 5 strengths?
Yeah, 5 ideally. If you see more, great, that you can think of. Just whatever comes to mind. If it's really, really tough, I like at least 3. I hope there's more than 3 strengths. And I'm hoping the same thing, even for weaknesses, I mean, we like to see what are some things we can always do better, right? Yeah, we got our first person. And again, don't hesitate. If you just finished strengths and you just want to put it up there first, that's fine. Whatever works best for you.
Hope you can read my writing.
Yeah, I can.
Jeez, Bob, you write so small.
And feel free to like read what other, individuals have written down.
Good job, Kara. I know.
Things on the restaurant Facebook page.
Yeah, it better be real time. Like you order mild and like you can't handle it. This is nice and flavorful with fire. It was so good. Sticky side up, Judy.
It is sticky. Hey, I was a substitute teacher, so this is silly. My favorite thing to do with kids is I ask when I run to the bathroom and I'd say no, and they look at me like stunned, and I said, "You can walk."
I love that.
Every time I do them.
It's like when kids ask me, can I? Sure.
But then I let them run.
I want a drink of water. Me too.
One at a
It's my
time.
favorite answer to my kids.
And you have to wait till the first one would get back before you send the next one, and that would just aggravate the heck out of them.
I'm really loving all the thoughtfulness that you guys are taking your time to really think about it. Really loving that.
I opened my mouth and you thought of weaknesses. Oh, I opened my mouth and you thought of strengths. Look at that. Oh, man. Bernie. Hello. How are you, sir? Good. How are you? It's a beautiful day of drizzle and cloud cover.
Yeah,
That's the norm.
yeah. That's the only way I get a day off.
Did we?
No sirens, though, that's good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I was up in Scott Counterland today. Traveling C and CC and H.
Yeah, you're in my,
Right there.
right in my neck of the woods.
Yep. Right in Scott Counterville.
Thank you. How's it going? Well,
My
look
wife
what I
is a
put
social
down there.
worker by trade.
Here's one of our
Developmentally
stories,
disabled
okay?
adults.
There you go. That'll make you feel good.
Yep.
Now, if I put these up, you will look at them. Well, these aren't mine, these are yours that you dropped. The writers, weaknesses. You're good, yeah.
So many kids put as much energy and effort into moving ahead as they put into challenging, so to speak.
Right? It's like solve world.
I'm reading the list already, and I think we're gonna have lots of good discussions.
Oh, yeah. We're realists, okay? We're odd.
Because we're oddities.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. We have all, is this all 19? Oh, okay, okay, that's all right. I was like, this is awesome. This gets really exciting. You can catch your breath first. And feel free, if you're done and you need to take care of yourself, you know, and take breaks and not wait for the break time, please feel free to do so. We're gonna have discussion after everyone gotten a chance to put some things on there.
Hey, Scotty. Hey, how's it going? Glad you could make it.
Yes, thank you so much for coming. So our first part of our activity for our SWOT analysis is really looking at our strengths and weaknesses. And there's some questions on your agenda there that folks are jotting down. I'll bring you some sticky notes. And I forgot to remind everybody when I was doing the presentation, but if you have not done the visioning assignment, I know some of you, you know, feel indifferent about it, but if you could get it completed, that would be great, greatly appreciated.
Is that homework you said?
Yeah,
Where do you want us to send it?
send it to me.
Okay.
We will be discussing it in June, so you guys have time. There's plenty of time. I'd like to get it in and start looking at some of the, I had two. I had two that came in.
May 27th?
Preferably not, please. Preferably if you guys can get it in by the early parts of, you know, by the third week of May would be good. So I don't have to cram and look at all of them like the week of Memorial Weekend. Yeah. And I'll have to remind the whole group again. Is the survey, Ken, online already or no? It is, okay. So please, supervisors, encourage your constituents to respond to that. That is really, really important.
Adam just sent that out to us, right? The last couple of days.
Okay, good, good.
Copy and paste.
Where do our constituents check? I mean, they get on the county website and where they go.
Here,
Adam probably had the instructions in the email. It's on the county website.
Well, I know, but for our constituents to get to it. Yes, it will come to the survey.
There's a link in the email.
I don't care about me.
If they go on the county website,
Yeah.
it will
All right, so the county has a survey available for everyone that can weigh in on their strategic planning. And to find that survey, if you go to the county's website, scroll down to the news section, it'll be right there on your left.
Oh, yeah.
Strategic plan questionnaire. Yep, so just from the very first page, you just gotta scroll down to find it.
Adam, make that?
Yeah,
I like that it's open-ended and not like
yeah,
4 options, none of which I agree with, but there's no,
yeah, yeah,
these all stink, or,
yeah.
no, none of that option, so it's good, I like it. Nice job.
Yeah, we wanted to keep it very open-ended. It's going to be a lot of work to synthesize. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of work to synthesize, but we want to make sure we get the voices of the community. I know that was really important to a lot of you, and so we wanted to make sure that we hear that. So please pass it to anybody. I'm sending it to the list of individuals that you guys did share with me. Some of them can't make it. So even if you do have more names of citizens you want to participate in the organized citizen panel that we're going to do, the SWOT that we're actually going to do with them, feel free to send it my way. Right now we have 14 yeses. So we like to hit that 15 number. We wanted 25. You guys gave us 25 names, but several of them said no, they can't make it. So any more names you can give would be great, but now they also they can have either. They can participate regardless in the survey or attending. Sometimes you get a little bit more richness from coming and attending, and I contacted them 2 to 3 weeks ago. Yeah. Oh, and then I sent another follow-up, I think a week ago. So I'm gonna make sure that I have the correct email or correct information. Maybe I can come over and you can tell me the name. I actually have an Excel sheet that says who responded, no one who responded yet, so I can just.
It's true. Oh, I already got it done.
You got it done, huh?
I was on my laptop. You want me to send it to you right now? Tomorrow? But thank you. It's very kind of you.
Just in case you needed one.
It was the inflection of your voice that I kind of just a sprinkling of sarcasm.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch.
Oh, they're okay. All right. I was being kind, okay?
Yeah, I just texted them today.
Ask my kids, that doesn't come very often.
I was gonna tell them you.
Strengths and weaknesses? Yes. Okay, all right, perfect. Okay, so now I'm gonna go and if you want, can you hear me from back here? Okay, all right, good. I'll try to project my voices. So I'm gonna start to read them. Oh, the recording. Oh, this?
I'm sorry, did you want the strengths and weaknesses on the board?
Oh, yes, sorry.
You want to turn that microphone off?
Oh, okay. Sorry. Once she grabs me the mic, I will start our activity.
Tell them, what does everyone think of Aaron Rodgers hosting Jeopardy?
He got better as the weeks went on.
He did, and he ended very strong.
Just think of how much better Jordan loves him.
Oh, man.
So are we a Aaron Rodgers fan or no?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
See that mustache?
I was going to say. We are close to the border. We're still Wisconsin.
That's tough to be a champion.
I'm curious before she gets back, as you were putting it on there and you saw some of the strengths and weaknesses, what are some of your thoughts?
Mine are up there.
You were the first, so you probably didn't see.
If you're gonna share, please use the microphone, we are still broadcasting. The public can hear you.
Okay.
Well, this is one of the reasons we have a big group, because you can't one person can't possibly think of everything. So that's why it's kind of nice to have varied input to see.
Absolutely. It's one of the reasons I like this activity is we all come from different perspectives. We also have different constituents in different regions and different experiences. So it's really nice to see some of the thoughts. There was one on there that says, "We plan." We plan. I don't know. Is that a strength? Is that a weakness? I got really curious about just even that comment. We plan. So we're going to have some good discussions. And looking at our time here. Yeah. Why don't we do that so we can just. Oh, she is back. Yay. Okay. Hello? Okay, perfect. Okay. All right, so I'm going to just start reading some of the comments up here. And when I stop at one I'm really curious about, we'll talk about it. So financial strength seems is a strength. And also, if you have a thought, please chime in. If you think, oh boy, that's not a strength, please chime in and add as well. But I'm going to start reading off some of this. Seem to serve our citizens well. Asset are the people. Committed employees. Access to capital, so I'll kind of put this up here. Looks like it aligns. I-94 corridor, so location is a strength. High per capita income, so I'm going to move this up here. We're starting to see some themes here. Many state highway intersections, so location, put that here. Close proximity to major airport, so location. Additional capital, no. What is, help me understand this one.
We have a set levy, so that we can only get so much money.
Okay, so would you say that's a strength?
No.
Oh, that should be in the weakness?
Well, it was in the strength column, and it's not a strength. So yes, it should be in the weakness.
Okay, let's put this over here. Okay. Okay, St. Croix River, so location. I'm seeing some themes. Location, income, asset is people, so people. And it's serve our citizens, so services. So far is what we have. Solid financial management. Collaborative partnerships with other organizations. It's going to move that. That's going to be a different category. Location in Wisconsin. Yep, location. Great employees. Sustainable competition advantage, closeness to Twin City, lots of room, east side of county. Okay, so location. HHS, highway people, workforce environment, yes, no, yes, no. HHS taxes, the health care center. So anyone that wrote this that would love to just have a discussion about that?
Of course. So when we're looking at the strengths, going down each line gives you the answer. When we ask what is our greatest achievement, the healthcare center. Okay. We provide through Orchard View Assisted Living, the Kitty Rhodes Memory Care Center for Alzheimer's and Dementia, as well as the Skilled Nursing Center. So we have provided for senior residents of St. Croix County essentially a transitional living component which does not exist anywhere else. It is the oldest and strongest asset that we do have in the county. When we look at what things do our customers say we do really well, we do health and human services and taxes really, really well. Can we easily get additional capital? Yes, we can, because we have a great bond rating. Do we have exclusive relationships with other organizations? I don't know how exclusive they are, given that we are a government entity. However, we do have very strong relationships with financial institutions, chambers of commerce, businesses, business entities, government contractors such as your own company. And those relationships get stronger with every event or project that we are working on, and have been doing so for many, many years. St. Croix County does an excellent job. Our staff, as well as supervisors, do an excellent job of building those bridges for long-lasting relationships. Do we have a sustainable competitive advantage? That's a big question, and it's something that I know that we'll be addressing. We are so fortunate to live in a rural area in St. Croix County. We have a somewhat urban area in Hudson, which is directly across from the Twin Cities metropolitan area, and yet you can go 5 miles out of Hudson and you're in rural Wisconsin. This is an amazing area to live in. Now, with proper development and planning, sustaining that environment is going to be a balancing act. Of course, we want more business, we want more housing, we want sustainable energy. But with those, if we are not balancing with the environment, we are not going to be able to sustain what we currently have. Unique resources we have, they've been mentioned. Our people are the strongest asset that we have, the strongest resource. Because we have a number of colleges which surround us and a number of technical colleges within the area, we have a beautiful feed line for talent. Because we are adjacent to the Twin Cities metropolitan area, we also have another pipeline of talent for this area. And because we live in such a great environment, people want to live here. They want to escape the towers of the Twin Cities and come to an area where they can actually put their arms out. So we have rivers and lakes and every kind of hunting.
Sounds like the best of all worlds.
Yes, it is truly the best of all worlds. And as long as you have the appropriate gear, you will survive a St. Croix County winter. But the other 3 seasons are phenomenal and make up for it. But we have a great deal of recreation all 4 seasons. So it is a great place to live. Our strongest asset is the people. Whether they agree or disagree, they are our strongest asset in the workforce, in coming up with creative ideas, and in making these communities a wonderful place to live. And what we do really well, as I said, HHS and highways. We do extraordinarily well. We're not perfect, we're not there in all departments, but those 2 is what I view as our strongest areas that we do the best.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm going to put yours kind of right here because it covers a lot of the different topics here. And also it covers a lot more than beyond these things. So I want to make sure that we consider all those things as strengths. So take care of roads. I'm going to put that as a separate category. We plan. So does anybody want to expand on this?
I put it on there. I think it's just a strength because otherwise none of us would be sitting here. I mean, that's a strength. Otherwise, if you don't have a vision or a plan, you're going nowhere.
Thank you. That is wonderful. So you guys are doing something right. You're very thoughtful in terms of how you approach different things. You make plans for it. So that's great. Have rural atmosphere yet close to Twin Cities location. Are we seeing a pattern here? Diverse board supervisor. Financial stability up here, financial stability. So right now, location and financial stability is winning. Excellent highways, take care of our roads. Work well together as a county board addressing changes. So I'm going to put this right here. It's a little bit separate from employees. Great workforce. Diverse resident population. So I'm going to, put that as a separate category. Growth. Tell me a little bit more about this so I know kind of where to categorize this. What do we mean by growth? Did anybody write this one that want to share a little bit about?
I'm not sure if that was mine or not, but we are the fastest growing county in the state, I believe. Still are.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Leave that there. A large and growing county population. This one, you think? Okay, growth. Yeah, okay. Provide services to our to our community. So the people we serve, yeah, we're good at that. We have the advantage of a talented administrator. So workforce, you guys hired someone right. Good county administration, yes. And good fiscal, so here I'm gonna put it in this area. Our location. All right, so St. Croix River educated citizens, 17 million APR. So it's gonna be a combination of financial, location as well. We are a rich county with a great bond rating with room for more. So financial. Okay. County has great financial position. Okay. Relationships with towns provide services from county to towns, roads. Okay, I'm going to put this a little bit. It's a little combination of a little bit of what we talked about and something very different, which is relationship with towns. I didn't hear that before. Let's see here. Do well ordinances upkeep. Tell me a little bit more about this. Okay. Oh yeah, your mic. I can't
Thank you.
forget that.
All right. Ordinance upkeep, we're just, it seems, in my experience anyway, with working in the one department on community development, is they're pretty good about looking into state changes and to what ordinance requirements are because of state statute changes and things, and are always trying to keep ahead of it so that it doesn't become too far outdated.
So I'd say good administration sounds like the employees are keeping a close eye, or no? Or separate? Board and staff? Okay, all right, I'm going to put it on the side here. Good organizational operations, financial leadership, and advancement. So I'd say, yeah, this one goes here with the organizational operations. Assets, personal, leadership, retention, recruitment. So go back to workforce, would you say? Okay, fits, okay, all right, sounds good. All right, so those are our strengths. Let's go to our financial. Again, please, if you want to chime in on something you disagreed or you think, yep.
I think you had mentioned earlier about strengths and weaknesses that they are internal.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering about, I mean, I totally agree our location is fabulous. That's why we live here. But it's not anything that we really have control over. So would that necessarily be something, you know, that we would list as a strength, so to speak?
Yeah, that definitely is a good question. You guys are kind of blessed with something that you're not in control of. But that helps you with possibly all your other stuff. So I can see it fitting in definitely the strengths area. It, you know, because, yeah, you can't control where you're located, but your location helps you with all the other things that are really good for you, like a rich community, those kind of things. Yep. Mm-hmm. All right. So the other, and I was going to speak more to that too, in terms of strengths too, it's this building. Is this the best place for this building? Is it central to other things? So as you think of that, is that really a strength too? Your building, your government building, is it? So those are things to think about in terms of we can put that as a strength. Our building here, is it in a space where people can access? So, all right, let's go to our weaknesses. We don't know how well we are servicing our citizens. Air of entitlement with employees, little community engagement, have no competition, business environment. Okay, those are all separate categories. Twin Cities, I can't read this next part, but Twin City something, and then mental health, judiciary, organizational.
You're reading my, my list of questions again.
Okay, do you want to kind of talk a little bit so I can categorize it a little bit?
Yeah,
Scotty wasn't here for that one.
Oh.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. Love for you to, it's good discussion.
I'll bring it back.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, first question, who are our competitors, if any? Competitors for population and industry, the Twin Cities market,
Yeah.
excuse me, and Pierce County.
Yeah.
As Pierce County is laid as the same FMR and unit value as St. Croix County is within the federal government under HUD perspectives. So what areas do we need to improve? Mental health and the judiciary.
Okay.
What expertise do we lack? Organizational efficiency. In what areas are our competitors better than we are? In job creation, providing affordable housing, low-income housing, mental health resources, and mental health, essentially detention and direct access to mental health services and detention for those who are in crisis. It's one of our greatest issues in this county. What is our financial health outlook at this point? Even after COVID, it is looking very good based on what the administrator has been sharing with us. We've been doing quite well. What complaints do we regularly hear from our customers? We have no public transportation to speak of throughout the county, and as you go further east in the county, there is none. This is a major issue. The other major issue would be the availability of a strong internet service providers or having fiber optic. This is something that has not expanded in St. Croix County, so many persons still struggle with internet service, which is not even competitive for them. Do we have technology or equipment that needs to be updated? Yes, again, looking at the internet systems, we do. And of course, as a county, it's a constant turnover of equipment aging out, vehicles aging out from the fleet, sheriff's vehicles aging out. And that's going to be a constant. Are we understaffed? This is up for discussion because there are areas that certainly I'd love to see the staff doubled or tripled in order to address the issues that we're coming off of with COVID. But that may not be a long-term staffing issue. So I'll say at this point, I'm going to say we're fairly good, but it's always open for discussion. Do we have any cash flow problems? Not at this time. Again, great preparation, and we had a very good year.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Scotty, for that. All right. So then we've heard a lot of strengths. Where do we what is the disadvantage about the additional capital? I know you wrote this and it was in the strength, but now it's over here. What were your thoughts about the additional capital? Oh, I'm sorry. The additional capital, no, sorry.
Well, we have a good bond, we can borrow money, but then we're paying interest, but we can't levy more than what we're allowed to. So it's, in one area we can get a lot, and in another area we can't get any more, so.
Okay. I'll leave that as a separate category. Communication about budget to the public. Citizen understanding what the county does.
I think that would fall in line with the budget one, which is communication.
This one?
I think so.
Okay.
But I'm not the only supervisor here. So.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys let me know if we're categorizing this where it shouldn't be. Service demands on department. So, okay, that's separate. Property tax levy too high. These all seem to be very separate ones. So there's a lot of separate ones here that's coming. Broadband access. So I know, Scotty, you mentioned that. Understated in community development enforcement. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? So whoever wrote this one? Yeah, it's stuck to Complaint Township on understated in community development enforcement was the first one, and then complaints township.
On the first one, let's take them one at a time then. So it was the enforcement issue. The enforcement issue is that we have a lot of open cases where there are issues that need to be addressed. Case ones are more so the people that have junkyards in their yards and stuff, and the problem is drafting the language properly and working out the issues on the judicial side and with the Corp Council and all of the pieces that have to go together to fulfill an obligation towards enforcement. The enforcement issue a lot of times is identified from the town governments that are under county zoning, so they're using the channels of the county to do those enforcement and rely on them to follow through. The problem is that a lot of times the residents that are dealing with it all go to the towns first and do their complaining, and then the town's left not always knowing what's going on from the county, and the county on the other side is also having a lot of difficulties with the enforcement through the judicial system.
Okay.
So a lot of these are going for in excess of 8 years. Not a lot. There are a few. I can name 3 of them for sure that are over 8 years.
Okay. So if I put that as a weakness in the judicial area, would that?
Probably a combination between the judicial and with Corp Council and with community development, the whole coordination.
Okay.
How do you make the rules so that they're enforceable?
Okay.
So that's community development. Corp Council's stuck in the middle trying to enforce it and to present to the judicial side. Then the judicial side kind of scrutinizes to make sure that the individual's rights aren't being violated.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm gonna kind of move us a little bit along. We're tight on time for these areas, but thank you for explaining that. It allows us just to categorize. All of this stuff we're coming back in later May to really dive deep into. Right now, we're brainstorming. And we're going to start to see themes, and we're going to start to identify what those themes are. So, okay, let's see here. So that those two go together. Okay, all of these go together. So I'm going to keep that there. Understaffed in community development. So maybe that's in service demands. So maybe then it results in understaff. Expertise lacking, ability desired. Be a first. We always want to follow. Okay, I'm going to leave that separately. Does anybody want to say a little bit more to that, or? Okay. So something for you guys to think about. Sounds like we are following more than we are being the first. Understaffed, okay. Tech equipment update, constant updating. Competitors, Twin City. Well, that one says no competition. This one, it says competition. So I'm going to leave that separate. Keeping up with technology, right here. Not enough roundabouts. So that was a good humorous one. Staffing level. So I'm going to put this under staff. Levy limits right here. So that's two of them. Drug abuse, HHS work, private sector, communication, staffing, okay. Financial upkeep is a challenge. Nope, this is separate. Okay. Minnesota competitor, okay. We have no 4-year university. That's a new one, good one. County buildings facility needs to grow. Okay. Drug use crime on the rise. So I'm going to put this with the drug abuse HHS work. Aging population. Competitors better than we are, not as aggressive as we might be. And it says, is it something business? What? Okay, attracting business. Okay, so competition, I know there's competitor. Where is it? Yes. Yeah. There we go. Water problems, interstate corridor, and then Hammond and Baldwin. Is that correct? 2 cities. Oh, okay. Okay, so this is water and also okay. Okay, these are all separate. Do you think it's infrastructure? So this one, county building facilities need to grow? No?
That isn't under infrastructure, but it's not anything really to do with the county, but it's something that needs to be addressed.
Okay.
It's infrastructure regardless.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm missing one.
Okay, I'm going to put infrastructure, but I don't see another category that's closely related to that. Okay. All right, you guys did a great job. We are at the 50-minute, and we shall be reconvening soon as a large group to discuss this. So feel free to take a 5-minute break. Oh, no, don't take a break yet. We didn't identify our top 5, and we need a speaker. So who's going to speak for strengths and who's going to speak for weaknesses? We need to identify. Oh, okay, all right. Okay, we got someone for strengths, someone for weaknesses. We have lots of different themes, but I think we can synthesize some of those themes. We have some of the strengths as well. Who wants to speak to our weaknesses? Who's being voluntold? He's making it move quick. Are you going to pass, disagree? I don't want to force anybody that doesn't feel comfortable, but okay, he has a shake. Okay. He had a head shake. Who wants to? Nobody wants to talk about weaknesses. Oh, you would? Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So, do you feel you have a synthesis of what some of the themes are for the strengths and for the weaknesses? Do you? Okay. All right. So thank you. You guys can take a 5-minute break. We have to represent our team, our small group. Okay, everyone, if we can, hopefully you got a chance to have a little bit of a break. Thank you. Really appreciate it. We had a good amount of time that we used up, so be patient if we are a little bit over time today. As we used a lot more time than we had planned. But do the reporters from each area, and Eric's going to write down our top 5s, but do the leaders from each area that was assigned or voluntold or volunteered. We had one that did volunteer. Want to share? It doesn't matter, group odd or group even. I know that sounds so silly, but that's how we were divided. So I had group odd, and wants to go first?
Make up some time. I got volunteered. I did not volunteer, and I will try to make up some time. We had a good discussion, but I'm going to boil it down to just a couple of things, 5 things. We all agreed we had a very good overall administration of the county, and we emphasized good financial management. We talked about our location, our urban-rural mix, but our location near the Twin Cities, our location on an interstate, both for benefits of business and people and transportation. We talked about the good people of St. Croix County, both the citizens. We talked about the board. We're really a good board and a good staff, not just our leader, but all of our staff. We are really privileged here in this county. We had good HHS. We serve a lot of people in a lot of different ways with our health campus, with overall health care. We've got good highways, rural, county, town highways, state, and we've got we're growing both in population and in our economy. Those were our top 5 then. Good administration, location, people, HHS, highways, and growth.
Somehow I ended up with 6, but hey.
I mixed HHS and highways probably.
That's all right. Are we noticing some themes and not? What aligns, what doesn't align in terms of each group's top 5? I hope you all can see, I can read it too.
I think that they just divided it up highway. We included that all staff. And HH staff, administrator staff. So.
Okay, so the highways, you guys put into the workforce, you said, and staff. Okay, okay. So I'm hearing there is lots of agreement. Any disagreements? What a team! What a team. There's more alignment than anything. Wow. It's my first. So it sounds like the group thinks very well. It sounds like it's very consistent. So, Eric, do you have anything to add in your group when you were doing?
No, and I'm not quite sure where you wanted to go, Yangi, but I want to ask this question of the group. So, we purposely forced you into 5, right? But we know that there are more important things also that didn't make the top 5. So I'm just kind of curious to open it up to some discussion about what are some of the things that didn't make the top 5, though, that your group still feels are pretty important?
Well, in our group, it was a strong committee system that makes a lot of the decisions, and that goes to full county, and it works well, is what.
Yeah, it sounds like the broader category kind of can capture that, but yeah, to make sure there's a good committee system. Anything else that was on your strengths that didn't make it to the top 5 theme that you like to acknowledge? We had in ours that Ken is a great administrator. Yes, that was one of our strengths. Hearing nothing, let's move on to the weaknesses. We might have, this is where we're making up on time. So, all right. So who was the representative for Group Odd, the odd number leaders? You can. Yeah.
There was like 100 of them.
Yeah.
All right. I'll stay out of your way. All right. Guess one of them that there were a lot of different on our first one that was multiple posted had concerns over communication. And communication in a lot of aspects. There was communication between citizens, communication about between areas. So I guess we can just leave it in communication as a big one. Next one was financial upkeep and property tax levy. Concerns on that. The next one was in technology areas, which had concerns over broadband and continuous update of equipment for the county. Another one was as far as business environment. We're in competition with the Minnesota side of the border, so the people that we can draw here versus the people, so it seems like it's always a challenge to pull people back and forth. Let's see, we have broadband. Editors. One of the other big ones that there were many of them on was with staffing. So the concern was that staffing in many of the departments and the challenges that we're facing as St. Croix County grows, that there's a need for additional personnel for doing the different areas. I'm good.
Thank you. The other group?
Yes, I blame Paulette. So she nominated
Oh, she
me, and we
nominated-
voted for her, and then she got her payback.
Thank you.
So
for
we have
volunteering.
some similar themes, lack of broadband being one of ours, the need of mental health and rehab services in this area, no night court, lack of public transportation, and the rate of budget expansion is too high. Rate of expansion of the budget too high. But similarly, we talked about a lot of some things that we didn't make necessarily that were similar to yours with the proximity to the Twin Cities and stealing talent and all of that kind of thing. So we are very similar minded. What? Keep up. I'm kidding. No night court.
Oh, night court.
Lack of public transportation. You can't remember. You were in our group. Just kidding.
Okay, so open now for discussion. Go ahead. Make sure you use your microphone. I think it's being streamed, so.
So one of the ones that I thought of that kind of plays into the public transportation, we have a problem getting people to their jobs, but we also have a problem with houses that they can afford for some of the jobs that we have in the county. So we don't really have a lot of publicly affordable housing that's right priced for some of the workforce.
I hope that's on your broader sheet because again, we're just listing our top 5, but we don't want to lose sight of the other ones that may not have a lot of stickies.
In the even group, the financial upkeep and tax levy, in some ways, we kind of put that under threats, so, not threats, but, under threats. So we haven't really gotten to that because this was something they felt they couldn't control. So that was definitely a top issue.
Okay, any other?
Well, I'm going to agree with Tim that even though this might be number 6, affordable housing is important enough so it should be on there, in my opinion.
Okay.
Nope.
Yes,
it did. Yes, it did. I take it back.
Affordable
It did.
housing, low-income housing, and low-income housing. So when you're looking at a Section 42, Section 8, 511, or 211, or 208, these types of housing developments in St. Croix County, we are way behind the number in the populace that are requiring this type of housing. Currently, we are the most expensive county in the state of Wisconsin to rent in, and we are also one of the highest counties in Wisconsin to purchase a single-family home. And this puts a majority of the population at odds with what their actual median income is. Because in the calculation of the median income for the county on the federal level, there's a great disparity between those who actually make up that median number and those who actually live here.
So I'm hearing from 3 supervisors that we should add that onto this list to not lose sight of.
Yeah, I think there was just so much going on and we were cut
Yeah.
short, but affordable housing is a super important thing to me.
Okay. Huh? Oh,
You know, just like the tax levy is a threat because we can't do anything about it. The county has very little that they can do about affordable housing. We don't have the resources to supplement affordable housing unless the federal government and the state government provide those resources, and they might have something, but the ability to just wave a wand and provide affordable housing just isn't there for the county. So I would put it in the threat category. We don't have affordable housing and it hurts economic development. We don't have affordable housing, and it hurts business, and it hurts mobility. So I would put it in the threat category.
Sounds like that will come up in our discussion in the next portion. How are some of your other beliefs? I don't know if I saw hands, so I might have turned. If you have other thoughts on that.
In response to Supervisor Hansen's comment that the county can do nothing about affordable housing, that's incorrect. Actually, a county in Wisconsin, if they so undertake, can do a great number of things, and that is statutory. There are a number of programs, organizations, grants, and funding opportunities which can be utilized by a county in partnership with other entities to create such housing developments or to afford the partnership, to create the partnership, to create those housing opportunities. There is quite a bit of opportunity currently because of the COVID funding.
Scotty, what do you mean by we have the opportunity to do that? I mean, there's money, there's zoning,
St. Croix County does not have a county housing authority. However, it is something that could be created if we chose to go in that direction. Many counties do have a county housing authority. Many cities, many municipalities in St. Croix County have public housing authorities. A county housing authority is a different type of entity under state statute, under its formation. It operates a little differently than a public housing authority does. But those are opportunities. As a government entity, as the county governance, we have that ability to bring partnerships together. Organizations, developers, public housing authorities, even if we are only the hosts of bringing those groups together for development. And with the amount of funding under a CDBG, under federal HUD grants programs, going under any of the tax credit development funds that are available, there's a lot that we could actually accomplish.
I got a bajillion things going through my brain on this. So when it comes to affordable housing, wouldn't it be better off if we didn't try to pull all this stuff together and maybe worked really hard on bringing high-paying jobs to St. Croix County by making the business environment a little more friendly? I think that's a good start for us, rather than us try to force feed people into houses. And because what you're talking about, there's going to be some cost to that. And I don't know, like, we're pretty close to levy limits, aren't we? So then the question comes in, what are we going to cut? Or are we going to take printed money from DC and use that to fund this? And then how long does that fund it for? I mean, just things like that.
I think this is a discussion that can go on for a very long time.
Yeah, well,
and
okay, so my point is
it is far more complicated than what is being presented here. So I think we're getting off our mission for this evening's meeting.
Yep, so I guess my point is I don't take it as a threat, weakness, strength, or opportunity. I think St. Croix County is a beautiful place.
Thank you.
Well, I also think there's going to be a couple things that might be a weakness and a threat. I mean, the housing could be one, and I can pretty much guarantee you that the night court situation would also be a threat, because I brought that up in front of a judge, and let me tell you, the judge was definitely against it. That's a threat, but it is also a weakness, because that would make a huge difference. So there are areas that can be both.
Yes, absolutely.
So what I hear happening is and this is my excuse for why we were a little behind in our group. Although I swore Ken said we were ahead, so I don't know what happened. But anyway, but who's keeping score, right? But I think what happened was, and this is a positive, I don't say it's a negative, we started raising these issues in our group, And we started getting downstream, right? Because that's where we want to go. Like, okay, this is a problem. How do we fix it? And we started having some discussions in our group. And that's kind of what I'm hearing going on here. It's a little bit downstream, but your instincts are absolutely right on. So both of you. So I just wanted to say that out loud. But you're right. We have to kind of keep on track, and we will get there, I promise, because in order to come up with goals and objectives, we're going to have to, come to some agreement or not on those issues. So thank you for your patience as we work through this.
All right, so then now we're going to break back to do opportunities and threats in our groups. Same group dynamic, you're okay with that?
I'm not sure if they like me because they thought I wasn't writing fast. If they're willing to stick with me,
So definitely, again, odds stay here, evens in the next group. And we're going to coach you guys a little bit. And feel free to, if there's some spaces in between as you're discussing, people are thinking, that you can, take care of yourself. This is a long meeting. There's a lot of, stuff going on, and there's points of views that might be different. So please feel free to take care of yourself in the process.
if you give us a time limit, I'll make sure we stick to it. No, do you want to give us
Yeah, I'll come by. I'll come by.
No, tell us,
because
tell me what time you want me to end.
Yeah.
And that'll be my goal. I'll always make sure we.
Okay, so we have to end by, let's see, 6
I personally
here.
think you could move up this session from 50 minutes to 40 and not lose a beat.
No.
No, you're right.
Just to be honest.
And it was
Yeah.
really challenging because
Yeah.
people wanted to have those conversations.
Yeah.
But I think, as Scotty said, sometimes you get way up the field. and
Yeah.
You got to kind of really shut it down as a
Yeah.
writer. But I think you don't need more than 40 minutes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think if we did, right now it's 6. So if we did about 6:45.
Okay, 6:45 it is.
That's all right. We need to go to some of those spaces. There is room and there is time for those going down. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Perfect. I always keep saying those crucial conversations we need to have is what helps us grow. So, all right, we're going to do things a little bit different. I want us to, we're not going to be doing this, but I want you to break in 3. So I'm just going to count off 3, 3, and 3, or 4, 3 or 4. And you're going to have discussions about each of the areas. So as you can see in opportunities, there are a bunch of questions in there. I want your group to have a discussion about it. Come up with your top 3, and then we'll reconvene as a group, okay? And we'll have discussion and come up with our 5. And I need, at the end, a volunteer or a voluntold person to report for each of the area again and our top 5. So, all right, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Get together. You're not part of the okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the 4 of you. There we go. And again, sit in a space you feel comfortable. But please have rich discussions. Yeah, some of you might have to move around a little bit. Make sure there's a note taker so you got your top, you got all your ideas written down as well. Even though you're going to pick your top 3, we don't want you to lose sight of the ideas that come through. We want all the ideas. But, okay? So please, one note taker, one report out. So pick a note taker that will take all the thoughts. Those will come to me. And then at the end, I want you guys to pick your top 3. to the next one. So 12 minutes left on this one, which is, and then the 15 minutes on threats. So just keeping some time. So finish the conversation on opportunities in about threats, if you're not already on threats, that would be great. Your top three, and then we're going to talk as our small group. together as a small group. We have 10 minutes to come up with our top 5 for each category. Yes, we're good. I love it. I love it. We're going to have now our small group discussion about what we were thinking. So whoever wants to share, I'd love for us to be fast in our groups to share what is our top 3 that we're thinking. And we got to come up with 5 that I need to write in the opportunity and in the threats. So let's have a discussion. The group over here, what is your top 3? And just share with the group what your reasons are.
I'll get it yet. All right. We're talking about the positive opportunities. So the one we looked at was COVID. With the changes that COVID brought in with things, we have the much more acceptance of people working from home and people not necessarily going back to business as usual before COVID. So that's made it for more migration from the cities as people want to get away from the close proximity, and they haven't been able to take advantage of all of the other things that they lived in the cities for. So we're seeing that as a opportunity as these people are trying to relocate. We looked at a positive opportunity would be to consider public transportation, broadband, and affordable housing, to work for ways to try to bring that about. Another one, again, relating with the COVID was COVID money. Did I miss anything other than?
I would just stress that one. 17 million, what to do with it?
Yeah, $17 million and what to do with that. We also have a pretty substantial financial reserve, so as we're looking at programming. So I guess money in general, there's a lot of positives.
Okay, let's go here.
Is it okay if we have 4? Sorry.
No, we got to come up with our top 5, so that's perfect.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Attracting new business to the county. Some of these themes you've heard before. Expanding the collaborative efforts with external partners in the county. We talked about that in particular in relation to transportation. Expanding broadband access, of course, is a weakness, and that's certainly an opportunity. And also preservation of natural resources in our county. Threats? Oh, you're not ready for threats yet.
Sorry.
I'm doing the top, you want the top 3, correct?
Yes.
Okay, population growth generates a higher tax base. Number 2 would be a broadband / partnership with somebody. I don't know how that's just broadband anyway. And then low-cost housing / public transportation too. So.
What was the first one?
The first one was the population growth generates a higher tax base.
Okay, now you heard from all the group. What do you think? Was there some that didn't make it to the top 3 that you want to consider for the top 5 here? I heard broadband in each group, so I feel like that needs to go for sure, and we can argue the rest. And then we have a variety. So you guys, what did you hear? What are your thoughts? What needs to go in there as your top 5?
I would just say that we mentioned as our first one in the context of COVID, working from home. And I'll simply say that our state demographer, when he spoke with us about half a year ago, pointed out that the northern third of Wisconsin was losing population. And basically our only hope to save northern Wisconsin, not some Croix County, but northern Wisconsin, was to attract people to rural areas, and that meant keeping them in rural areas, and that meant things like broadband. But if you didn't keep, and COVID gave us the opportunity for people to start to work from home. That's why we said working from home was a great opportunity, because it keeps people in northern Wisconsin.
What about the other groups? Should we put that up there, working from home?
Probably should. We had written down once technology improvement, so that kind of goes along with that you can work from home, right?
Say that all kind of wraps into the expansion of broadband, kind of under the larger topic. And I would just like to offer up, I think, the whole idea of trying to attract additional new business to the county. Not only does that support our growth, it supports our tax base, and I think as we kind of agreed on, that is a real opportunity to make sure that we can continue the growth in the county and attract businesses here.
Okay. So I have down just little subcategories under work from home is more growth, kind of correlates back to broadband was what I'm hearing. What was that last part? Did I miss something? Okay, all right. We got 2 down. 3 to go.
I guess I was suggesting a third in attracting businesses from into the county.
Okay, I see yes. Mm-hmm.
Am I? Okay, and in attracting businesses and with broadband, one of the issues that we've heard a lot about is lack of public transportation, which becomes an opportunity for business growth when businesses coming in have a means of transportation for employees to arrive at work. And this has been a great issue in St. Croix County since public transportation is non-existent.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'd love to hear, so we got a vote here. Did you have more to say?
Well, with attracting businesses, one of the things that we just mentioned too is that that comes in with the opportunity is that we have WITC in Richmond, which is one of the top 80 in the nation for education of and being able to establish programs that are actually catered directly from startup businesses and businesses to train personnel. And so it makes it so that it's a great opportunity being able to use those programs to draw people in.
WITC.
Correct.
Okay. So again, back to transportation. Do we want to put
And
it
we
out?
had a very related comment in terms of expanding collaborative efforts. So maybe the overall topic is addressing the transportation needs, not necessarily saying public or private or collaborative or whatever. Just kind of the higher level opportunity is if we have some way of addressing the transportation needs, we might be able to attract more businesses.
The last group, any comments you guys have towards that? I'm hearing that should go as your top 5, but let's hear from the last group. What are your thoughts?
The transportation, you mean? Yeah, we had it on our list. It just didn't make our top 3, but it was on our list, so.
Okay, are you okay with it?
I
Are
am,
you-
if
okay.
these two are, yep.
Good.
Transportation, but not necessarily public transportation.
Oh, okay. Okay, so just transportation.
If addressing the transportation needs, but not necessarily meaning we as a government entity have to do something directly about it.
Okay, all right, we got one more.
I'm going to add the one more that kind of love this, the COVID money. We have $17.5 million. That can all go for one project and not even pay for all of it, or it could go for an opportunity. But it's there, and we've never had it before. So it's a definite opportunity.
Is there parameters around the funding?
I'm still waiting to hear on that.
Okay. Okay. So that could create a lot of opportunities within here. So I don't want to lose it.
COVID stimulus or whatever.
ARP rescue money?
Yeah.
That's a lot of opportunity there. Okay, all right. We got our top 5. So I know that this expands to a lot of other things, but we'll keep it on there and we'll have a little bit of just keeping it in the line of sight. We won't dig through how that's going to happen yet. Let's move on to our threats here. What are our top? So let's report out. Your group again, what was your threats?
I'm on. Okay. One of them, I'm trying to look with our top 5, top ones where we really didn't have a tremendous amount that I was able, tried to write fast. So what, the 8, yes. The one of the biggest ones I think that kind of covers a lot of areas, drugs, aging, and homelessness. And a little clarification on that, also was the increase in populations of the county means an increase of drugs, mental disabilities, physical disabilities, because as you increase in population, generally the percentages of people that come in are going to equal what the current percentages are that's in the county. So you're going to get an equal amount of these things, and so we have to address those needs for the future. We had, some of our competition for bringing in marketable businesses.
So guess what? We're not done. So you guys have 15 minutes. We're not quite done. Give us about 15 minutes. Go ahead, take your break. Sorry.
No worries. Okay. So we were just mentioning that we had some competition that we were dealing with for as far as for job growth and things in the area. So we're dealing with the Twin Cities, we're dealing with Pierce, Dunn, and Eau Claire. So they're all drawing in from the same pool that we're trying to draw from to bring businesses to the community. One of the other threats is potential loss of employees. We just have concerns about their situation when you're short personnel or trying to do things, they end up overworked and under stress, and then the other concern is you know, if their appreciation level, if they're being properly appreciated for what they're doing. One of the other ones we had was website security. And I think
Okay.
that was our mains. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. What about this group?
Couple things. One was the continued uncivil discourse that we kind of all experienced last fall as a result of a lack of communication and transparency. Also, the proximity to a large metropolitan area that's experiencing a lot of civil unrest that can spill over the river. Also, a disconnect between the growth in the county planning. In other words, what happens if the growth that we're anticipating doesn't occur? And then another one would be policies, internal policies that are negatively impacting business development and preventing us from attracting businesses to the county.
We're not quite done yet, just so, you are welcome to come in. We're not quite done yet, though. Was that your, all your thoughts? What do you think?
That was the four threats that we came up with, yes. Solid. four.
Awesome. So as you hear the groups, think about your top 5. The last group?
Our number one was our employees are being recruited to surrounding areas like the Twin City area. Number 2 would be the money we're limited to our levy limits. 3 is state mandates, whether they're funded or unfunded. And our 4th one was the civil unrest. So.
Okay, so shall we put civil unrest on there? I heard that pretty loud and clear. Okay. And then I thought I heard drugs, homeless, increase in population. Is that one? Yeah.
Increased population and the negative things that come with it. There's
Yep.
a lot of positives, but we're talking about
Yep.
threats, so it would be the negatives.
Yep. What does the group say?
I would agree with that one, actually, because when I was on the HHS board, I mean, it certainly made me really well aware of all the meth issues around the county, and it was really disconcerting.
We're a team player. So I'm going to put drugs, alcohol, and issues that come with it. Yeah, for sure. Disability? Okay. All right, 3 more. Which ones did you all align on?
Couple mentioned employees.
Yeah,
Yes.
we didn't have that on our list, but you both did, so
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
sounds like it probably should be up there.
Yeah, I heard that. I put stress underneath there. Hopefully that makes sense for whoever's reporting. All right, 2 more. What should go in your threats?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we talked about, internal policies in the county that are negatively impacting bringing businesses into the county. So they decide they want to go to Polk County or Pierce County or someplace else because there's a more friendly business environment, and we're preventing, well, not preventing them, but kind of dragging them down. So they decide, fine, I'm going to go over here.
Okay, last one. It'll make the second half, the checkout, easier for when you guys all come in. What's your last one?
The other one we had was just what happens if we don't grow as we're anticipating. So we're going to expand the building, we're going to add staff, we're going to anticipate all this growth, and what happens if that doesn't occur. That was the other one that we had.
So is that a facilities or is that a? So no growth in everything. No growth. Mm-hmm. All right, the other group, Eric, apologize. At least we're making this next half easier. Come on in. As everybody come in, I want you guys to volunteer 2 people, 1 to report on each. So.
Karen Cook will do opportunities. She is really good with it in our group.
Okay. Carrie, are you okay with that? Opportunities? Yeah.
Scotty can do the threats.
Okay, Scotty, threats? He's volunteering his small. Do you want him to?
No. I decline. I have a headache. I gotta wash my hair.
Thank you so much. We'll wait a couple minutes for everybody to trickle back in. We did part of the work, Eric, so we did our top 5 for each. So, yeah, it'll make your process go easier. Do you want to go ahead, or you want me to?
I'm like, Yangi, why aren't you just taking the lead here? Oh, because I agreed to do it. I was voluntold. I forgot. Okay, thank you all for sticking around. We really appreciate it. We'll get you out of here by 7 because if not, Paulette will never speak to me again. So, here we go. Top 5 from the odd group. I'm calling you guys the odd group. Are you okay with that? Okay.
Yeah, we're on.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Okay, our top 5. We talked a lot about broadband and expansion of broadband access and what the impact that can have on the rest of the county. So that's an opportunity. Working from home, there was conversation by some groups about the impact of COVID and how that really expand telecommuting and the impact that has on communities as well, that more people can move to St. Croix County, they continue to work here, they can keep those communities alive across the county when they have an opportunity to telecommute. So there's opportunity there. Attracting businesses, we have some great resources here, WITC, other educational institutions, and other things that will bring businesses to the county. So we feel like there's an opportunity there. As far as transportation needs, there was some discussion among the various small groups about what that could mean. It doesn't necessarily mean public transportation, but we talked about the need to somehow, whether that's with other partners across the county, and how do we address that transportation need with private nonprofit groups, whatever that is. And then finally, there's a lot of money to be spent, and so we have an opportunity with that $17 million from American Rescue Plan and what we're going to do with that as a county.
Great, thank you. Okay, let's go with the even group, and who was doing the first report out? Was it Tim?
So I've got the even group opportunities. The first one was transportation. as an opportunity to improve our transportation system, to support businesses and the workforce. The second was an investment in mental health. The third was to protect and preserve our natural resources. The fourth opportunity was to provide more affordable housing options. And the fifth was operational and cross-training efficiency improvements. Operational and cross-training efficiency improvement at the county level.
Cross-training and
efficiencies.
efficiencies. Okay, yeah, what are we noticing here? I'd like to ask the even group real quick, since I was in that group. When you look at what the other group did you see some things here that were like, oh yeah, I think we should have thought of that, or things that you're like, no, there's a reason why we didn't think of that?
Yeah, I think the ARP, the 17 million. But I mean, it's like that's like hopefully a one-time thing, because we don't have to recover from COVID again. But that is something obviously that is a huge opportunity for us to address some of these issues.
Any other comments?
I think it's nice that they're complementary, because the odd team came up with some excellent opportunities that didn't even get discussed in ours, and perhaps it went the other way, but I think it's a strength that we have two different looks at these things.
I think one thing I would just acknowledge from the even team is that a lot of the things that they put up there was always in the background of most of them, this idea of attracting business and employment. So that was sort of an underlying theme to a lot of what was said. Is that accurate from the even group? Odd group, do you have any comments about what the even folks came up with? Anything you object to? Anything you support?
I would say everything that they talked about, we also did, and then it got put in a different way or whatnot, but everything was mentioned.
Okay, excellent. Does anyone have any burning thoughts about opportunities before we move on to threats? Okay, let's move on. So who's reporting out for the odd group on threats?
I decline. That was bad. Guys again. This is 13. Take it away. My mic's off. Doesn't work.
Sorry, I am back.
Death threats, the experiences we've all had through the last year of civil unrest and the lack thereof of civil discourse, or the amount of civil discourse, however you'd like to view that. Increase in the population, which St. Croix County has certainly seen a large increase in population, which also brings with it drugs, alcohol, aging, and disability, which all lead to the bottom line of we have an increased crime rate because of these issues. We have employees who are fantastic, but is there enough employee appreciation? What is their stress or stress emotional level at? Are we taking care of our staff, not just with benefits and wages, but are we giving them enough personal praise? Internal policies which are preventing businesses from coming here. By internal policies, we may have ordinances and or policies which are prohibitive to businesses. A large permit process, fees on permits, inspections. Are we doing the best we can to encourage businesses to come to St. Croix County and stay here? And under the biggest one, Plan B, What if we do not have the anticipated growth that we have all been looking at and anticipating for St. Croix County?
Thank you. Nice. Okay. Is it Greg?
So, excuse me. Our number one was population growth, aging population, and urban sprawl as a threat, being able to keep up with the services for those. Then we're at the mercy of the state and federal government as far as mandates, and state Supreme Court striking down mandates. Twin Cities lure. I don't remember what that was about, but I assume lure.
Yeah, that was,
L-U-R-E.
I think it was like our, yeah, employees moving over.
Yeah, okay. Affordable housing and environmental pollution. Is that 5? Did I miss? Yep.
Okay, we'll start this time with the even group. Are there any of those that you want to, the even folks want to elaborate on just a little, or do you think this sums it up?
Environment pollution, right? The spelling's off.
So the affordable housing, it's the lack of it, so that we don't have people that can, employees that can afford to live where we need them to be to work. So it's not that affordable housing is a threat in terms of having it built, it means that we just need it. So I think it should really say lack of affordable housing. At least that's the take from our group on that.
Thank you. Yeah, Sean.
The thing with with the federal and state government wasn't just mandates, it was also tax policy and policies related to what grants are funded which year and how those can change over time, and being able to having to adjust for those.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Could I ask for a little more explanation on the last item, what your thoughts were and what those, a little more specific on those threats?
So that was one I proposed. It's basically our groundwater resources and noise, as well as air pollution from the cities next door, will have an impact. Part of our economy is based around tourism. A large amount is around agriculture. So we need to make sure that those resources are husbanded, not only for ourselves, but also for the follow-ons that come after us, because we don't get a chance to get them back. So as we do develop, as we do grow, the threat is that some of those resources can be impacted negatively, and it's hard to get it back.
Did that help answer your question? Okay. How about from the odd group, anything that you want to elaborate on, or maybe any other questions you have about what happened in the even group?
I think the threat that they brought up of some of the social issues around drugs, disability, and aging, I don't know that